Hot is presented by Botano. The game starts now. Here are your hosts, Brent Wallace, Jason York, and Bobby Ryan.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome to Coming in Hot. Brent Wallace alongside Jason York and Bobby Ryan, the number 2 pick in the draft in 2005. We're going to talk to the number 1 pick in the 1993 draft shortly, in Alex Daigle, who's also maybe best known and remembered as Jason York's roommate.
That's happiest guy. Hey, jolliest guy ever. Always in a good mood. Just got a text from our old strength coach, Lauren Goldenberg, and he's like, that guy was never in a bad mood. Like, Bobby, you're probably a guy like that, eh? Around the rink, I could see you as a jolly guy.
Oh,
you're crusty.
I can be, yeah. When you're on day 7 in a row, and yeah, we're gonna go do a 45-minute flush. I'm like, what?
Pardon?
Rest is a weapon.
So you're the guy that's responsible for rest as a weapon. Hey,
no, I'm not taking responsibility for it. That's for sure. But I could be a little crusty some days.
Really? I was always in a good mood.
Yeah. No, there's no bad days in the NHL, that's for sure. But yeah, I found.
Well, some people try to make it that way, though.
Oh yeah, that is true. I've seen that.
I will say, Yorkie, I tried to find all kinds of pictures of Alex Daigle through the interwebs. It's rare to find one he's not smiling.
I know.
I will say that, like, very, very jovial type guy. I quite look forward to this interview today because I've never had a chance to really talk to him. So I'm anxious to see. Yeah, because he got traded in January of 1998, and I arrived in Ottawa to start the 98-99 season.
Okay.
So let's see what he has to say about your good friend, Pierre Gauthier, shortly.
Oh, I love the ghost. Gave me three contracts.
Yeah. Well, the ghost traded Alex Daigle, so we'll find out if he has the same view that you do about it. Before now, he's arriving shortly. So before he does, I just want to get let's take some business out of the equation. This show is always brought to you by Botano. Go to botano.ca, download the award-winning state-of-the-art app, get in on all the same game parlays and live bet builder. And today, by the way, is Halloween. So over at Botano, they're celebrating Halloween. They even made like fancy graphics. So go check them out and see how they're celebrating Halloween. Lots of stuff to do over there, including you can bet on the Calder Trophy winner, Ridley Gregg. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, here we go.
I won't start that again today. There is news, though, with the Sens, and that is Artem Zub skated today in the yellow non-contact jersey. He was skating alongside Jake Sanderson. And I don't think he plays tomorrow based on him having been off that much, but maybe. So we'll see if he gets cleared to play tomorrow as they face LA. No, sorry, Thursday. So I suspect he's probably in the lineup on Thursday because it's 2 days from now.
Mm-hmm. Did we ever, at my skate today, somebody asked me, like, what was wrong with Zub? Did they ever say, was it jaw or ear or concussion? Did they ever say?
They've never said it. I'm going to see if there's an official, but I think it's just upper body.
That's what I thought I saw too. Interesting to be taking first line reps in a non-contact jersey. Usually when you get that, you're not taking reps at that with your partner. So if he's playing with his partner, through practice, it's a good sign, I would say. It's just reminder.
So it's a concussion then, probably, right? Because concussion protocol, first day, non-contact, second day, I believe, contact. And then, it's bike ride, non-contact practice, non-contact practice, contact practice, play.
Yeah. I think he's probably just going. I don't want to speculate too much, I guess, right? But I think he's probably just going through the protocol.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yorkie, was your protocol, how many fingers do I have and get back out there?
My protocol was suck it up, Buttercup. Get back out there, take a sniffer.
Find a way.
Dig down deep. You're going to help your teammates going to like you for it.
Also, anyway, for officially listed as just upper body. And so while I know, and Alfie's mullet has said, isn't it his ear? We know he was hit in the ear. I believe it may be concussion related.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds like it.
But we have, no official word. Also, this show happily presented by BEI. Go to Bonshire Excavating Inc. BonisherExcavating.com, 613-432-1120 for all your aggregate and topsoil sales needs, plus custom crushing and screening, and for all your aggregate and equipment rentals. So BEI, helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. And of course, apply, because they're always looking to help. And Bobby, as you like to say, slow down in construction zones.
Got to do it. Double the fine.
All right. No, listen, I've taken up enough of everybody's time, so let's get right to it. On the show, I'd like to welcome in the 1993 first overall pick, Alex Daigle, to the show.
Very nice, boys. My first podcast. There's a lot of excitement here. It's my first ever, by the way.
I've heard that. So why on earth, Alex? Why? No, I know why you're dressed up. Why on earth did you choose to do this show?
Come on, easy
Because
answer.
of Yorkie. Yorkie is awesome. Yeah,
We're buds.
it's been
We're
nice
roomies.
to me. Yeah.
Yorkie paid me to ask that question. He wanted you to say nice things about him.
No, I thought he paid me. No, he didn't pay me. That's why I don't do any broad podcast.
Yeah.
$3.99 is over, boys.
Hey, Daigle,
Listen,
checks in the mail. Checks in the mail. Check your mailbox.
Yeah. All right.
hey, Alex, some would argue you made too much money, and that's why they brought in the rookie salary cap.
Yeah, well,
never.
with Canadian money, my friend, at 60% on the dollar with 53% taxes. Try to make that calculation. Then you call me after.
Right?
No, it's still a lot of money. It was very fortunate at that time. Yeah.
Hey, Bobby, you can thank guys like Daigle for making all the cash you made.
Yeah, I don't know what you got for a bonus as first overall, but I went second. I got 250 grand. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, that hurts.
So, Alex,
right.
first of all, how are you? We don't ever hear from you. Like you said, you don't do podcasts. The last interview I can find anywhere is 2017 with Don Brent when you came back for the outdoor game. Like, how are you? What are you up to?
Well, I'm great. I got 3 kids, live in Montreal. I work for Attraction, which is a media company in Montreal. We do TV shows, and I'm doing a couple projects in Spain now, which are really real estate based, little hotels. So I travel a lot there, and keep a low profile.
Yeah.
You're a
And
real
Daigle,
estate mogul.
He's everything.
I would say
He's
mogul,
everywhere.
but it's quite fun. Quite fun.
Yeah.
I know you like
He's-
the big O. I know Ottawa is amazing, but hey.
He's an international man of mystery. People in Ottawa wonder, Daigle, I told you this. They're like, what is this guy doing? And now you're coaching minor hockey too, right? You got your sons
Yeah, I'm coaching
playing.
my
You're-
son. Yeah, well, they ran out of coaches here. You know, as you know, in Canada, those people are so intense about thinking their son
Yep.
playing the NHL, which is such a small percentage. And my son played Pee Wee A, so you got double A, double B, double A. You know, there's a long road ahead, buddy. But all those people, they really believe it's happening. And I didn't want to coach forever because I was, I didn't want to get into that fighting and who's going to have some ice time. But, I finally said, yeah, man, fuck it. I'm going to tell you you're not playing.
Hey, who do you which coach do you model your coaching? You've had a lot of coaches. Who's
That was so funny, Yorkie. I had a meeting with the parents and I told them, I said, listen, I don't know if you ever heard about Jacques Lemaire, and everybody said, yeah, great. Yeah, it was the worst thing that happened to hockey. That's what your sons will learn. I'm bringing the trap back for the Pee-wee. I love it.
You're not trapping it up, are you? Trapping it up with the Pee-wees?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're unbeaten this year, man. Telling you, trap it up. It's the toughest thing for kids at that age because making 2 passes in a row is tough, and that's exactly designed to do that.
Take
So
that
Oh
out.
my
yeah,
God.
So good.
the trap.
Okay, Alex, I got tons of questions for you, and I want to get to some stories about your playing days as well. I'm going to try and jam this in the next 24 straight hours. We're going to do a show. So I'd like to go back to you being drafted, which was like just over 11,000 days ago, 30 years ago this year. And
30 years.
did you understand the pressure? Did you feel any pressure? Did you understand pressure? I guess, what was that like? Because there's also rumors, whether they're now fact or not, that Ottawa or Quebec was trying to trade for you, and they were giving up a king's ransom to get you, and Ottawa wouldn't trade. Did you know any of this stuff is going on?
No, at that time I didn't know any of that stuff. To answer your question, yeah, I think I was way too young and went into a situation that I didn't fully understand. And the other thing people don't realize is that the draft, the way it was set up at that time, you could protect pretty much your whole team. So Ottawa had a shitty team for a while there, and it was super tough on young guys, especially myself. I wasn't ready. I didn't speak English, so that was another big component. And I wanted to discover the world as well, having a great time. So those 3-4 things didn't really match well. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And but right now, what I like is all those guys. They have agents. I did have an agent, but my agent was not present. But at least they have, I guess they get courses, or they have a little bit of a blueprint how to do it, which is great.
Yeah, well, Diggy, nowadays you know how it is. You got a kid in hockey. Agents are on kids when they're 12 years old, 10 years old.
Advisors, they're called.
They're not allowed to call them agents, but it's so nobody came to you when you're real young and say, yeah, we're getting
for me, it started, I was 15. I was playing midget AAA. Okay. So all the usual suspect came in. It was Pat Brisson first or second year as an agent. So obviously at that time, I couldn't really pick him for obvious reasons. So I went with Pierre Lacroix. That was at the time in Quebec. He had all the the top French Canadian prospects. But what happened with Pierre is the year after my first year, he left for Quebec City to be the GM. So I was stuck like in no man's land for a while. Bob Sauvé took his company over, but it was never the same on that level as far as connections and when you take over a company and you have 20 to 25 of the top players as far as French guys goes, I was not priority number uno, and I think it was not great for me at that time because I didn't have any other support. My parents, never played hockey, obviously, and didn't know anything about going out of Montreal. So that was that. And after that, I went with Pat about 4 or 5 years later.
Gotcha.
And I got him on the way. He was so struggling at that time. I changed his whole career.
Hey,
give him a pat on the back.
hey. So how did you learn? So when you went to Ottawa, did you take English lessons? How did you learn? In the dressing room?
Dressing room, TV. Obviously, I had a small base because Montreal is not like the boonies either.
Yeah.
So, but to this day, my dad passed away this year, but they didn't speak English. My brother doesn't speak English. So, and after that, I was, at 21, I moved to LA in the summer, right after the season. So that, that made a big improvement. Yeah. So I went there for that.
Okay.
What do you got, Wally? What do you got? You bringing the heat? Are you bringing the heat?
Well, I've never had a chance to talk to you for the most part. I've interviewed you when you played for Minnesota.
I try to stay away from you.
Well, that's fair. You're not the only one. So I've always been fascinated by you because of all the talk that surrounded you for your time in Ottawa, including obviously the rookie salary cap, and then there was so much that happened. How would you sum up your 4.5 years in Ottawa?
I would say 4 of my best years, if overall for the on the ice, of course, I had some good seasons in Ottawa. But obviously they were not the standard that people were expecting. That's another story. That's another discussion. But as far as, getting out of Quebec, traveling, seeing the league for the first time, I was very lucky the first year. I think we made all the old stadiums as well. Mm-hmm. So Chicago Stadium was still there. Detroit, Boston was still there. So Quebec City. So that was great. Right. Going to Buffalo. So those are great memories. Just going through the league a couple of times is super fun. I think the first year we didn't have a charter plane, so we stayed in every city. So that was great for sightseeing. I really enjoyed myself that time. That was just awesome.
Hey, do you remember on the plane? Because back then you all of a sudden the barf bags, the little paper bag, would come around and people would have to sign the bag. People would want autographs on the barf bag.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Start making the round.
Yeah, because we're traveling with
With
with civilians, right? With with
civilians.
Us regular folk, Alex.
aliens. I didn't say civilians.
Hey,
commercially.
Wally,
We're flying commercially.
so that Dig, I don't know if you know this. You still have that. That's a record, right, Wally? The goals as a teenager for the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, points as a teenager by an Ottawa Senator. Fastest to 50 points. Hang on. So we have some of those notes to come up, Yorkie.
All right, getting ahead of ourselves.
But you had a 51-point season in your rookie year. You started. I mean, you know this stuff. You started your first 7 games. You had 5 goals and 13 points, if I'm not mistaken. You had a 7-game point streak to start your career. Like,
Oh wow.
you started on fire. I just did it ever feel comfortable for you?
No, for me, well, you'll see. I did a docu with the NHL this past year, and that talks about all that time and me going into the league. I went, you know, when I was 15, 16, there was a lot of changing. The way I was looking at the game and what I wanted to do. And so I arrived in the league very, very young, right? So it was like I didn't have – so when I was junior, I was doubting if I really, wanted to push it, but I was so close to my goal. Right. And I continue and proving I could play in the league was, for me, it was a big achievement. I was very happy with that. And what came next was, whatever it did. But for me, I was very happy with that, very content. But resetting goals was always my biggest issue and the toughest thing to do. And when you don't have that ultimate goal or that little edge, you became just a player going through the motion. And that's how I feel the rest of my career was.
Mm-hmm. I was telling the guys this. I don't even remember our old strength coach, Lauren Goldenberg.
Fuck, Jason, I thought you were going to cry there. I was very emotional about what I was saying, buddy.
Come on, I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to turn things around here.
Yeah, Yorkie doesn't pay it. He just goes on to his question.
Yeah.
Hey, but
he has no clue what you just said.
I was listening. But you were always, I remember you, and I came in a couple years later. You were always in a great mood, man. Every single day. Yeah. It was like the greatest day. Like I was telling Bob and I were talking about this because you got some guys are grumpy, but you were a guy that was always the greatest day at the rink. At least it seemed that way to me. Yeah.
I didn't change either. I'm still that way 30 years later in my life. So that's well, at the end of the day, you wake up, you have to do something and have fun with it. That was always but now that I have kids is more important than ever. Yeah, for sure.
You haven't aged either, but that maybe for another day. I know you don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to waste your time.
I do have a lot of time. Is you guys cutting me off? You give me 20 minutes. That's what your said. Buddy, you got 20 minutes.
I just got
nothing to sell. What the fuck?
Oh,
we got all day for you.
Wait a second. Well, yeah. Okay then. So you had
say.
Jacques Martin come in. I want to know. Because you say Jacques Lemaire is your favorite coach, or at least I think you might.
Yeah.
So where does Jacques Martin fit for you?
Oh, close second for sure. I think for me, Jacques changed the Ottawa Senators at that time because he arrived at a time that guys were getting better and got to know the league a little bit more. And I think his first year or second, we made the playoff. So he did have a big impact, but I just felt that Jacques Lemaire, it was more for me, the type of personality I am. He didn't talk to me all year, so I really like that. Call me old fashioned, but ignore me and I love you.
You see the irony in you liking Jacques Lemaire as a coach, the defensive minded coach against the guy who tore up the junior hockey league.
But first of all, Jacques, just to give you an idea, he's going to talk to you at the beginning of the year and at the end. And if he doesn't talk to you in between, that's because you do whatever he wants you to do, which is very simple to play the trap, right? And that's one thing. And after he explains to you exactly what he needs individually on the ice when you're a left winger. And I never had that. You always think you know your game and what you should do. But within a system, when somebody explain it to you a couple of times, it made a huge difference. As far as being an offensive player, if I was more mature when I played in Philadelphia, Roger Nilsson was my coach. And he told me after 3 games, and I was playing with Brandon Moore. I finished the season the year before. It was 9 goals in 11 games. Lindros got injured. That was his first big injury. Mm-hmm. So I got up with Rob Brandon, which is an amazing passer and amazing overall player. And I start the season with him, and I'm 2 out of 3. I'm saying, this year I'm scoring 30. So and he told me, he said, Alex, he said, I want to do a defensive. I want to put you in defensive role, make a defensive player out of you. Well, I came back from LA that summer, and I had a lot of confidence, just put it that way. So I was like, hey, Roger, seriously, man, I scored 26 2 years ago. I think I'm and I finished 9-11. So I got all my stats in my head that made sense. Mm-hmm. And I said, so I think I can score 30 this year. He said, no, you're not going to score 30 because if you don't play defense, I'm not going to play you. So whatever, man, do whatever you have to do. And I left. Bad thing. So I didn't play. Some games I had 1 shift. They finally traded me. But all this to tell you that if I was more mature and looking at the way the game is played and know where I sit in that dressing room, in any dressing room, okay, I got speed. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to play on the third line, I'm going to have that much ice time. If I'm going to play on a defensive role, I'm going to be on the third line. I'm going to have those empty netters. I'm going to have once in a while the power play. I'm going to be so you get longevity to your career, and you're not as dependable offensively. And it would have changed my career if I would listen to that guy. It doesn't say I like the guy. I just didn't listen to him.
Fair point.
So backing up, did you because I was a high pick, obviously, that got traded out of his situation, and mine was different. It was more, the cap and things changed. But when you left Ottawa, were you? Because I had asked Al, I just said this isn't even healthy anymore. Mm-hmm. And then the trade didn't manifest for me for another year. But did you ask to leave? Like, were you like, I have to go to Ottawa to try to be a better player, or were you like at the point where I can't stand Pierre Gauthier anymore? I know Yorkie loves him, but I was like, did you have a bad experience with him and say it's time to move on?
No, I had a great experience with the guy. He was French, obviously, very nice, very subdued type dude. But for me, he called me and he said, Alex, what do you think about Ottawa? Do you like it here? And I think my answer was not that convincing.
What did you say? Do you remember?
So a month later, I was gone. I was like, all right, I missed out. But yeah, that was that smooth. He called me in his office, asked me what I thought about Ottawa and the playing here and the pressure. And we talked, maybe for 10 minutes, but it was never about being traded. It was more an overall type question that you can't win. And that was it.
Yeah. Do you remember what you said? Do you remember?
I think I went along the line that it's tough to go to restaurants in Ottawa. It's tough to go outside. It's tough to go to the mall. There's a lot of negativity on the papers, and I'm struggling to deal with it.
Yeah. So
that's
you
fair.
took that. Yeah,
that's fair. Because you're
you're
young, right? Like you have all the weight.
I was 23. 23. It was my just turned 23.
Yeah. So Yorkie, you know what? Do the DoorDash, and we'll get the note out of the way so that we can
you want me
talk
to do
about
the DoorDash, and now they'll be here all day.
All
right.
Just do what you're told.
Stand
by, Alex.
Stand by, Daigle. It's going to take a while. This show is proudly brought to you by DoorDash. Just like when Daigle was skating up the ice super fast, DoorDash delivers the goods with restaurants, grocery, pharmacies, bakeries, flower shops, and more. DoorDash really has everything you need to make the holidays extra special. I know Daigle's going to be handing out Halloween candy tonight, and that's going to be special for the kids. Ordering's easy. Just open the DoorDash app, choose what you want, where you want, and it'll deliver it right outside to your door. With double DoorDash on DoorDash, you can order from multiple restaurants or stores with delivery without additional delivery fees, so everyone can get what they need. For a limited time, get 25% off, 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app, and the code is NATION25, all uppercase letters. That's 25% off, up to $10 value, 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download that DoorDash app. And don't forget about the Nation26. And 25. Again, 25% off.
The code is Nation25. Listen,
I don't get paid enough for this, Dave.
So, do you get picked for that, or did you put your name in? What was the process of picking you?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
I knew he'd struggle a little, so that's why I like the little torment.
I'm like the old Joe. Remember Joe Namath? Between when they got Joe, he was on the ball a little bit and he goes to the girl between.
Boozed up.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Yeah. He was all boozed up, and he goes struggling.
So, so Daigle, on this show, we do a hot or cold performer. You're our hot performer today. And I just wanted to point out, as Yorkie tried to get to it earlier, because he doesn't pay attention to the rundown, that you were the quickest Ottawa Senator ever, youngest ever to score 50 points. 19 years, 61 days. The only ever teenager to get to 50 points.
Wow.
So, yes, we just want, there's a lot. So here's my point is, you did a lot of things that people seem to not remember or they didn't know. Like you played 10 years in the National Hockey League. In fact, you took 2 off and came back. That to me is impressive in itself.
2 lockouts, by the way.
2 lockouts. Like you would have.
Those hurts more.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
for a couple of reasons.
About $3 million down the drain, but hey, who's counting? Huh?
Yeah, but no, but you got to do that tour in Russia, so we'll get to that in a second.
Geez, that was awesome.
You played 616 games. You are in your draft class. I believe you are 26th in scoring. People have all these misconceptions or these thoughts about you, and in fact, they're not always reality based. And so I just wanted to point out a few of these notes that you have. I still think I'll ask you, what do you think of your hockey career in the National Hockey League?
I think it's in 2. I think the first half, obviously, for me, discovering everything was amazing on a personal level. I think the second half, when I took those 2 years off, I think that was a good reset for me. I needed that. And when I came back, the first year was so-so. I was in Pittsburgh, and I was up and down. But with Jacques, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I had my best season there, I would say, overall season. I was more cautious defensively, and it was just a fun time for me. After another lockout happened, I played another year, and Jacques and everybody got fired. So I think they put me on that cell as well. So I was out. And after that, I went to Switzerland. I loved that time. That was awesome. So overall, is it the best career that I thought for myself? No. Is it something that I'm proud of? Yeah. If you look back 30 years later, you said, okay, you see those numbers. I'm like, oh, okay. And what I did the last year doing the docu is it brought me a lot of memories, because you tend to forget, times, you think forward, you don't really dwell too much on this. And but there was way more fun time and good memories than I thought, actually. And looking at this, I thought everybody was super negative and super really harsh, but I don't think in reality that's the case. So
you and I were talking yesterday when I and here's the thing, Daigle is one of the guys, he appreciates a phone call. He's not a texter. And he actually answers his phone. Many guys, no one answers their phone anymore. You answer your phone, my friend. But okay, so number one, first question, when's the documentary come out?
I think it's January or February. There's 2 coming out. I believe Joe Sakic,
Yes.
It's not a Joe Sakic story. It's a Joe Sakic. You guys probably remember that when the New York Rangers signed him to an hostile offer sheet.
Yeah.
And that old story with the team there. And I think I told you this, Jason. It was Air Force One. The owner of the team at that time was a movie producer for Colorado. So he financed that deal with that movie. So it's pretty interesting. So that's coming out about the same time. But I think they're gonna spread those two.
Cool. And it's what's it, Amazon Prime?
Amazon and ESPN Plus.
Cool.
No, perfect.
And then the other thing, your years in Switzerland. I only played for one season. How much fun was that playing in Davos?
It's the best. I was telling the guys, I said, boys, you're 30, 31, let go your dream. It's like move on and go to places like this because, first of all, it's a new culture, new reality, and you're still a star if you really want to be a star over there. Hockey is the number one thing. As far as the money, if you're going to be a fourth-line guy making $900 $1 million, you got to make more money over there. So money-wise, it's a good trade-off. You're playing half the games, and you're just in Switzerland, That's another thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but the caliber, you have to be a good player to go there. Yeah. Because there's only 4 imports. I think there's 5 imports now, but the caliber is really high, and they changed them quick. But you travel to Italy, to France. It's so close, and it's something that us, North American, we don't live like we go. It's the same TV in Canada and the States. It's the same thing. It's the same mentality, and over there, you live in a different life. And for those 4 years, it was just magical for me.
Yeah, great.
And I would say another secret: pick a good team.
Yeah.
It's not fun if you're on a bad team.
Yeah, you don't want to be in Freiburg or
because there's no salary cap, and obviously the revenue per team is way different. It's a different reality, so it makes a huge impact.
Yeah. If you're an import and you're winning, they love you. But if you're an import and the team's losing,
you're the guy. You're out.
They're blaming you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, the years that you didn't play, were you? I think it was you. Were you skating at El Segundo?
Oh yeah.
I was at that rink watching you all the time. I was living there playing for the Junior Kings program.
Wow.
Oh.
And, we used to do we would practice and then we'd be doing off ice training up on the top tier there.
Yeah.
And would be like Alexandre Daigle's out there. So I remember I was watching you when I was 11 years old in LA.
Oh wow. Yeah. I know. It was I played in the league. Well, actually it was the league. Pat's league, the CAA league, and that's how I started back. I played that full year, and after that I came back. I took really 1 year off, totally.
We skated. I did all of. I didn't end up going with Pat, but I was at that age where I was starting to get all that attention. Because it started at a younger age when I was coming in, but. I ended up going back to Detroit for Honey Baked and then to Owen Sound in the OHL, but Pat was around and noticed me. So I was skating in the same skate as you with them, his Monday night skates in El Segundo with, Cuba Gooding Jr. used to drive me home all the time, and Jerry Bruckheimer. We had some great skates.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were on the ice
together. This is coming up now, Bobby. This is our 1 year anniversary today, and you have never brought this up on the show.
I don't know because I get a nerd report from you that's 5 pages long every day. I don't know when to sneak it in. But anyway, going back to you seemed like a guy that wanted to move on from hockey and not be involved in it. What made you decide after all the time to now come out with the documentary? Is that just the entertaining side of you
No, actually it's the NHL that really called me and started harassing me. It was Jay Nelson's, the producer there on staff, and Ross Bernard. They sold that concept to Amazon, and they put a list of guys that they should do, and they picked my story with the Sakic one. And so they were really persistent. But for me, I was like, geez, what do I get out of this? I got nothing to promote. It won't change anything in my life. But at the end of the day, it was more, and that was my buddies and my wife told me that it's more a leg to my kids. My kids have no clue who I am. Zero. And I think it's awesome. And even if they're friends, they friend no more, but the parents no clue as far as they know what the hockey player, but they don't know I live in LA and the type of lifestyle I had before. So it's very funny to me. So,
Very
so
cool.
for me, it's a good leg more than anything else.
Daigle, explain to me this. You're a hockey player. I know you work for you're part of a production company. How did that happen for you? How did you start working for a production company?
Friend of mine owned that company for the last 25 years. We were friends, and we were looking at. He was looking at different angles because now it's really reality based, and so we're starting to talk, and he started talk to me about a couple of industry would like to get in, and I start putting him together with the people that were running those industries, and he said, "Fuck, Alex," he said, "let's do a deal together," and we start working on a deal. And the first show we did, and it's going to be announced, we sold the show to the Weather Channel, and it was so funny. It was an idea that we had with a couple of cocktails, and we sent that to the development team. They put it together, and they sold it. The first, it was in Atlanta, so the first pitch worked. So it was like, geez, man, I'm a genius. I got this thing.
Are you the pitch man? You're the pitch man?
Not pitching. No, not pitching. No, people are pro at pitching. I'm not.
You're the
so
closer.
that was that. And after that, we're working on a show about not me, but the 90s and the way a bit of hockey and that type of idea. But that will be more scripted. So I've been working on it for a year. So we'll see. Hopefully next year will come out.
Can we just go back to Cuba Gooding Jr. for a sec? Like, do you call him? Do you hang out?
No.
Did you ever ask for a part in the movie?
No. I'm, can't tell, but I'm pretty shy, and but and people think just being in a movie is the thing. Yeah, but it's a talent. Those people have been working at their craft for a long time. You don't just become an actor like this. So for me, it was never an option. As far as celebrity goes, I'm not a big fan of that. I think people want to have celebrity. When they get it, they realize it's not that great. The free stuff and everything, but at the end of the day, it's not what it is. It's not. So for me, it was a no on that front. As far as LA, I think I have 4 or 5 good friends still there, but that's it. I'm never going to go back to the States. Not in California for sure.
Yeah.
It changed a lot too. The LA scene and the vibe, and I think they have a big problem. The political is very intense over there. From one side to the other, like Bobby. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah. I think in Canada we're very safe environment as well.
Okay. Before I get to Yorkie roommate stories, because I would love you to dish a little bit of dirt on Jason York, I want to bring up 2, I'll call them the controversial things surrounding you. You came on dressed in a costume, and so I'm leading into the ad you did for the Score. Now, before we put up the poster, you got painted as Alex Daigle, who dressed in a nurse's costume. The reality is you dressed in 8 different outfits for that shoot. So everybody just wanted to, I didn't see the ad, and so all I ever heard was Alex Daigle as the nurse. Can you comment on this? If you were to do this again, would you still do the same ad? Were you a little disappointed in how it was perceived?
Wow, $400,000. I'll do a little less now, but that's economic change. But listen, I was 17 years old. That was before my draft. I had no direction. They sent me there. We signed the deal with Score, and I'm by myself doing all that shoot. And the agent at the time, I don't think they were ready for that as far as proofing and as far as having a story about what's going to be out there for a young kid. And it did affect me for a long time, and still to this day, people talk to me about it. And it's like, geez, man, you're 17 years old. You make one mistake. And it's not even really a mistake, like in a sense that I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't, it was not. So you got to think twice about what you do at that age. And especially now with the social media, I was lucky in my years. We didn't have any of that. But yeah, man, it marks you for life.
I mean, it's funny you say that, because if you look at today, NHL is posting photos of players at their Halloween costume parties, and a number of guys are dressed up like Little Red Riding Hood, or Eric Carlson was dressing up in certain costumes as females as well. Like, it's funny how it's changed, and yet for you still can't escape it. And that was always something that I never quite understood.
Well, it was multiple factors, because first of all, the rookie contract,
yes.
And stupidly, people were making comments on. Yeah, I understand the owners making comments and the general manager, but the media, they were always on the other side, and in the sense that, I made half of what Lindros was making. He arrived a year before, and it was in Canadian dollar again. And no, it's just true. For me, it was like I was the guy to blame. But guys, man, the salary became public, I think it was 2-3 years before. That changed the whole dynamic. And Lindros comes, I come, and now there's a lockout. So, but the lockout is just because we didn't have any contract. The lockout could have been a year earlier. It's just, that's what happened. So everything was really focused on that story. And the nurse thing, and everything, that it was not a good no.
Well, the league wasn't friendly back then. Like, it was like guys hated each other. You weren't allowed to talk to guys on other teams. We spoke about this. It was a totally different culture back then. It was about being macho and mean, and we were joking around about the guys, like the Ken Danico story you told me, Daigle. like just Bobby, like guys are like if you were a player, like a fast guy like Daigle, you were getting hacked every single game. It's unfortunate, Daigle. You're 10 years too early, maybe 15, for the generation you should have played in.
Yeah, well, I would have liked to play like 2004 to 2008.
Yeah.
The reason is I think Facebook and Instagram came very popular in 2009.
Yep.
I will skip that. I would like to play when Tinder came out and the league was wide open.
What is the Danico? What is the Danico story?
Just because Danico was, a tough defenseman. He was well known around the league, and skating was not his first, thing that you thought about him. So every time that you were going around, at that time you were allowed to just, if you hit the puck first and the guy, so he was always, fishing and going on the ice like this. And I was past him and he did the Danico and he hit my skate and I went to the goalpost. But at that time, the goalpost was very stiff.
Yeah.
So my arm got cut and I broke my arm. And that was pretty much my only injury, real serious injury. And so I saw him a couple of years later. He had no clue what happened. No clue. But I said, buddy, that was the best end of the season ever, because it was in February. We were not making the playoff anyway. So I remember Jacques Martin wanted me to go on the road, very bond with the guys. I said, fucking right, I'm going on the road. First trip was in Miami. I loved it. It's my last trip, though. He said, they're not fucking coming back.
Oh, God.
Okay, the other one I have that's on the controversial side is the Chris Pronger comment, as you know. If you had to do over again, would you make the same comment about no one remembers who got drafted second?
Knowing me and my personality, I wouldn't mind. It's just that it's not, the thing I said, it's exactly what you said. It's just that I would explain more what I thought. It's just that day is super special. It's one day in your life ever. Well, fuck. It's the same thing as a race car driver. You go to Montreal last year. I don't remember who lost. I remember Verstappen won.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little bit more than my thought process. But at that time, I was so naive. You can't say those things because if you don't explain in depth and people, it doesn't matter. They're only going to take that little snip. So retrospect, no, I would never say that because nothing to gain. And, Chris at that time, I knew him. We played the World Junior.
That's right.
We won the year. We won like a couple of days, I had a good relationship with him. So yeah, no.
Did you get chirped on the ice for any of that stuff?
No, not really. Ever.
Nobody really does. No.
Well, if Brad Marchand was playing with you, he might probably say something.
Marchand?
Yeah, I think he's probably the biggest chirper.
Yeah, he's probably up there, but it's weird what guys will chirp you about compared to what's out there in the media. Like most of the players that he played against probably had zero idea that he ever said it. Right?
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, very true.
Media gives way more shit than we do.
Yes. So we like it when somebody speaks out. Like Alex would have been great in this era of social media. But as soon as you do speak out, then we just hammer you.
You put a target on your no.
Yeah. So
I'm on zero social media. That's for those reasons. It makes
you know nothing. You're
actually I got Instagram, but just for the stroll, but that's it. Especially the hockey highlights and all that stuff. But nah.
It's like I had to leave Twitter because I remember my wife was like, "It's probably time to get off Twitter," because I was in a slump and I was injured again. And somebody's like, "How do you score 13 goals while making $7 million?" And I said, "On my side and in a mansion." And she's like, she's like, "It's time to get off." I was like,
"Yeah, it's time to get off." Yeah.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, not lastly, but. Bob, I need your Wendy's read so we get to did you know about Alex Daigle?
Oh,
sounds good.
Go, Bob.
All right. Don't forget, guys, coming soon is the Wendy's Daily Face-Off Survivor Pool. Get set to join in all the action, win tons of prizes that Wendy's is offering up all season long with the Daily Face-Off Survivor Pool, including Wendy's newest addition to their all-star burger lineup, the Very Real Barbecue Bacon Cheeseburger that I don't know if it's available in the US, but getting rave reviews in Canada. Enjoy the Applewood smoked bacon and crispy onions as cheese melts over the fresh, never frozen Canadian beef. Download the Wendy's app to get set for the Daily Face-Off Survival Pool sponsored by Wendy's. And we will keep you guys posted for when it's running live. Okay, so Alex, this is a did you know? Did you like playing in Ottawa before we show this graphic? Did you like playing?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean, not as a senator coming back and playing.
Man, not really.
Okay, because
I like playing Montreal, I would say, because all my family was there and all my buddies. But as far as going to Canadian City, I would say, Ottawa was not number one. That's for sure.
Well, it showed in your stats because in the 6 games you played against the Ottawa Senators, you had 2 assists. You never scored a goal against the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa. I was just curious. Was that something did you get Jack to face them? Did you care?
I did care, yeah. And get Jack, no, but it depends. Who did I play for? That's the other question.
Philly, Minnesota.
Philly, yeah. Wow, I'm surprised. We had a good team.
Let me double check. I thought it was Philly, but
I don't know, probably.
Yeah, it was Philly. It was Philly. I remember Daigle, left side, coming down my right side. Speed wide, always taking it wide.
I don't think you were in the ice, Jason. Sorry, I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
I was locking you down, Daigle.
Shortest fucking ship in the league.
Come on. Don't give yourself that much credit.
Because at that time, you had to go on the ice once or twice to get a game played. So.
Oh, come on. No, that was the marquee matchup, Daigle versus York.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, buddy.
Your first game as a member of the Flyers, as is your second game. Then it was Tampa, the Rangers, and then then the Rangers, and then one is Minnesota.
I do remember I got an assist when I played for the Rangers because I missed my shot, but I think it hit John McLean in the back. and somebody took the rebound. Fucking
You're correct, John McLean from Valerie Kamensky and Alex Daigle.
There you go.
Attaboy.
Nice.
Okay, so what's Yorkie like as a roommate?
It's very quiet. It's very fun. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds very protective.
Yeah.
No.
That answer was
stories
rehearsed.
like 30 years ago. I don't, those are the stories I don't remember.
I'll tell you this about Daigle, who had a very quick wit. For a French guy in his second language, you were very good with the comebacks. And I told you guys the one story, the Lance Pitlick story, who we had Pitlick. So, Bob, you'll like this. Daigle was a great dresser. Always sharp suit, pinstriped, but he had a silk scarf. He wore the silk scarf. And
It's very
he didn't
French.
care. He knew how to, he wore it well. He wore it well. So Pitlick, I think he didn't dress that nice. Anyway, Pitlick comes on the bus. Daigle's got the scarf on. He goes, "Hey, Daigle, nice scarf." And Daigle's like, "Hey, Pitlick, the scarf's worth more than your suit." And the whole bus just erupts and everyone's laughing their head off. Like,
Oh, it's
perfect
great.
timing. Well
To be
timed.
fair, it was Pitlick's first year in the league, so money was tight.
Yeah. He didn't come in as hot as you did. The contract.
No.
No, and
yeah.
Canadian dollars again.
Again,
Okay, so in 2017, you come back to play in the alumni game. Was there any nerves for that? Because of were you worried about how you'd be perceived? Was there any of that? You scored 4 goals, so you must have felt pretty good.
No, I felt great. At that time, I was playing a lot of hockey here in Montreal. I was playing twice a week, so I was pretty good hockey shape. I was very happy. 2 of my kids were there, so we drove down, and that was nice. Really enjoyed it. But I didn't. I think as far as being perceived, I think I moved on from that. I'm going to be 49 now, almost 50. 14 months, I'm 50, so you got to let it go at one point.
Bob Daigle, I go, "Daigle, what the hell?" He skates by me and he's like, "Yorkie, this is what happens when you don't go in the corners during your career. You feel great when you're 45."
The original number 91.
Hey, okay, seriously, what
Yes.
the hell are you doing? Like, you got some skin treatment going on? You're skinny. You're looking good. Like, what's this? What's going on? You got some
Actually,
reverse
I'm the
aging?
same weight. I'm the same weight as my last year that I played.
Come on.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I run. I play hockey, go to the gym. Yeah.
So, we always used to ask a question.
I fast. I do the fasting.
You doing the intermittent fasting?
Yep. Fasting is key, man.
We got to get on that, Bob.
I gotta
So-
get on something.
No,
I
no. I'm getting a bacon double cheeseburger.
Road, but yeah.
Is
Yeah.
okay when you played. Well, it may be the same now. Did you have like a go-to snack if you were watching a movie or something?
I
Did
go
you
to
ever-
snack.
Yeah, like chips, popcorn, ice cream.
Oh, like those
Gummy
fat
bears.
guys that criticize hockey player or any type of sport athlete on their couch, like that type
Yes.
of guy.
Yes,
No, I'm not.
that guy. Yeah, me.
Yeah, chips. I guess. Yeah, chips. Chips will
Yeah.
do it.
Was there a
I'm not a beer. No. Like at home, I don't think I have any beers here, so it's like I don't get the point.
What's your go-to cocktail? If you're gonna have a cocktail,
Yeah,
mine's an old fashioned. What's yours?
an old fashioned. Wow, that's a lot of calories in there, my friend. But I don't. You're not counting that.
I'm still skinny.
Yeah.
What's your go-to? What's if you're gonna have one?
Dirty martini with blue cheese olives.
Oh, of course.
Solid. Okay, so when you look back at your career, what is your favorite moment? Do you have one?
NHL.
Yeah.
Because my two there's I would say outside the NHL I won the World Junior a couple of times, so that was, and one was in Canada, which was next level. Anyway, at that time I'm sure it's the same, so that was great. NHL I would say, well, first game is always super special, and first goal, all that stuff. When I came back and I scored 20 in Minnesota, so that was a big moment for me. I was very happy about that. And Switzerland, we won 2 championships. That was super cool there. Very fun.
Yeah.
So,
What made you come back?
I needed to clear my head, which is at that time was not something that people were doing. Now they have the sports psychologists on staff. So if I had that, maybe I wouldn't skip any. But at that time was not really popular saying that you needed help. Time changed for the better. So, and when you clear your head, well, you're starting to get in going. And for me, I love hockey and I love, being around the guys. I love laughing. So, and there's a lot of people you can abuse in the dressing room. So for me, it was I don't consider myself a bully, but I kind of love it.
Very therapeutic.
Yeah.
So who did you like to go after?
The week. So Yorkie was number 1. Actually, I played with a guy. Bergevin was my roommate as well in Pittsburgh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so that was the perfect combination because I like laughing at myself and about so I like when people abuse me. So it was a good combination because this guy is very funny. I think he's the funniest man in hockey that I met. Yeah. So that was a good combo. But as far I'm not a guy who will make fun of people, so that was just a joke. But so that's what I like the most, when people will make jokes at me. I love it.
I just remember how relaxed you were before a game. Guys are jumping around and they're all hyper and come on, boys, let's go. Big game tonight, boys. Big game. And then I look, and Daigle used to always be last. And I see Daigle and I'd look around and I'd smile and he'd pat himself on the back. He'd like, let's go, Daigle. Let's be good tonight.
We'll be good tonight, buddy. We'll be good.
Right?
Hey,
just getting himself.
I gotta open the door for my kid. Just a second.
Sure.
Whose dog is that?
I assume it's Daigle's dog.
Yeah. The Daigle?
Now, did he? I should ask him. Did he always refer to himself in the third person?
I always refer to him as the Daigle, and he did too. He does. He does like talking.
Yeah, always in the third person, my friend. Even on my stick was the Daigle. No fucking with that, all right?
the old black Sherwood. Remember those? The old black
Sherwood. That's right. Didn't make the turn with the new graphite stick. Those guys, too bad. But
wait, Gavin, if we can put up just a picture. There's a couple of Alex that we have. That's not black Sherwood. That is a solid CCM, I think, stick. What stick did you use?
I used a CCM for a while. Sherwood that was Titan, I think, at that time. That was junior.
That was the Gretzky model.
Actually, that was the first check I received. It paid me $5,000, my first check. I was 16 years old.
Big money back then.
Yeah.
Do you still have the Jofa helmet?
No, that was so ugly, man. Yeah. It broke my heart to wear it because, again, they paid me to it. But it was just, it always bugged me because I was, you always want to fit in, especially when you start in the league. And to wear that helmet, I think only Mario was wearing it and maybe Solani, like a couple of guys. But geez, it was terrible for me. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I think Alfie may have come and worn it after.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, after. Alfie was worse. He didn't have any visor. It looks just terrible, right?
It was. It's an awful helmet.
It's terrible.
But it was entertaining. When you look back at your Ottawa days, actually, did you and Alexei Yashin have any issues? Only reason I asked that question, you guys come in this roughly the same time a year apart.
Yeah.
But he holds out, if I'm not mistaken, because he wanted to be paid roughly the same as you or more than you. So he held out at the beginning of camp, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think that was his first year. Maybe.
No, it was after. Yeah.
It was later.
That I don't know. Yash was, first of all, a special bird. You go start from there. Like,
Yeah.
and
He made me wait 4 hours one day to do an interview so he could do his sticks.
so how did you came out of it? Did you came out, like a bigger man? Were you? Were you
I was like,
changed?
I'm hoping that's the last one we're doing. Yeah.
No, Russian at that time anyway. I don't know now, but their English is like it's not existent. So for him, it took him 2-3 years just to understand the basics. And another thing, I don't know if people knew that, but he brought his whole family, right?
Yes.
So he practiced play, go back to his house, and that was it. You never see Yash. So if I talk to him, not really. Like there was nothing to talk about. We have zero in common, and he doesn't speak the language. So for me,
and
it was a non-starter. What?
You guys lived across the street from each other in Canada. Your
Yeah,
houses,
we did.
right?
Oh yeah.
Like
I
10
never went to
seconds.
his house, and he never went into my hot tub. Tell you that. Invitation only, buddy.
Like I'm talking, Bobby. I'm talking like 20-second walk, like across the street. Like, hey, you want to come over? Watch
Never
a movie?
carpooled, nothing.
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 Actually, it's the first time you say that, and the first time I hear that, but it never really crossed my mind. It's not really an option for me. Funny thing too, I played when I was playing in. I think it was in Philly. There's a guy. Remember Ken Menderville?
Yep, he
Yes,
lives here in
he lives in
Ottawa.
Ottawa.
Yeah, great guy.
And I don't know, but I played with him, and at the end of the I always call him Mendy,
Yep.
right? That was his nickname.
Mandy.
Yeah, so with a couple of cocktails, he came to me and said, "Hey, do you know my name?" "Yeah, it's Menderville, like Mandy." "No, my first name." But it's late. I had a couple of cocktails, but I had no fucking clue.
Mandy.
Nobody knows first names in hockey.
Exactly.
It's like at the end of the year when you have to write the trainers their checks or bring them cash, and you're like, I got to bring them cash because I don't know what to put on the fucking check. I got to go get out $17,000 in cash just to avoid not telling them I don't know their first names. You're either
Poor Bob.
Hey, Daigle, what's going on at Halloween tonight? Are you handing out candy? Are you the guy in charge?
Kids are too old now, so they're going away. But yeah, I'm handling candy. I think I'm going to be Beetlejuice tonight. Yeah.
You putting the costume on?
Yeah. Well, that was the wig. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm putting the costume. I'm in the spirit, buddy.
You're
Giving back.
You're a festive guy.
Oh yeah. Right guy, wrong
right.
decade.
Oh boy.
I would love to keep you for another hour, but we'll let you go. But I appreciate
right,
this. I'm
all right.
hoping. By the way, I can't wait to see the documentary that comes out. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I did.
And?
I had a screening in New York a couple of weeks ago.
nice.
And
Do
do you
happy with
is
it?
it?
Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, it's the NHL is producing this, so they have all the good intention in the world to really put stories of their old player, ex-player, or new player, whatever it is. It's I wouldn't say a promotional piece, but almost. So for me, I felt I was in good hands, and so it's my story from the beginning in Montreal. And the cool thing for me was a lot of VHS tapes that were that they did digitalize and that. So it's a great for me to watch it. I loved it. It was an emotional time.
Awesome. That's great. That's awesome.
A couple of people have asked in the chat before we go if you watch hockey today.
Oh yeah, I do. Obviously, Montreal. I watch Montreal quite a bit. The West, it's too late for me. I'm in bed by 10, so it ain't gonna work.
Preaching to the choir.
I have a TV in my room, but my wife doesn't allow me to watch it. So it's like, what the fuck do I have a TV in my room?
Lights out.
Not allowed. The rule book changed when you retired. Tell you that.
Yeah, apparently.
Anyway, but I do watch hockey, football, all those sports. I love it.
You're telling me if your You're a Jack Hughes guy. If you like watching hockey, you like watching.
Yeah,
Jack
he was
Hughes.
in Montreal a couple of weeks ago or last week. I think he had 4 assists, but it's just the way he creates room for himself. He's not a big guy, but the way the skating and I don't know, it's a special player, a very, very special player. And, that's the type of player you dream of playing on the same line. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He's a disher, and he's creating room, and you just got to figure it out. So Foley's going to extend his career from 2 to 3 years, and he's going to make about 6-7 million more. Good for him. Fucking guy.
Oh, buddy.
Can all thank Alex Daigle for all the contracts that people sign from now on.
There you go.
I love when you say that. Jeez, put that on the wall. I love it. All right, guys.
All right, take care. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate
Thank you.
it. Man.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Daigle. Thanks for doing this. There he goes.
There goes the dig.
Hey,
great guest.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I'm hoping now people will 30 years later or whatever is to take a second look and maybe not think of all the negative and think of actually all the good stuff he did.
Yeah. Bob and Wally, he's a guy that just loves life. And,
it seems like it, eh?
Yeah. It's just he's got a great wife now. He's got 3 kids, 2 daughters, a son, and his kids, like he said, his kids don't know anything about him, what he went through. And I think that's part of the reason he's excited that documentary is out about him, because it tells us what his life was and what he went through. But no, people are misunderstood about him. He jokes about it, but he was a great teammate. He was a great teammate, great guy, one of the boys. And, when I called him, picked up the phone right away, chatted for an hour like we seen each other a week ago. Like he's that kind of guy. So yeah, you would have liked playing with him, Bob. He's lots of fun.
I could imagine.
I would like him to actually be a party planner. Like I think he would plan the best parties.
Well, he's the type of guy. End of the year, he was making a lot of money. Like I think I told you guys this. He booked the highs for the whole team at the end of the year and took care of the whole bill. A lot of money. Made sure the boys had a good time. Generous guy. And like he jokes about Yash. Yash wasn't doing that. Daigle was doing that.
No. Yash held out a couple times for some money. Yeah,
Daigle
wanted every dollar.
Daigle was a generous guy.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you for lining it up, Yorkie, because he was fantastic. And you've always heard stuff, but I've never had a chance to really actually get to know Alex Daigle. So just thanks for that.
It's too bad because he said it. He would be a guy that would thrive in today's game with his speed, and you can't hook, you can't hold him. And his personality, he'd be making a lot of money off the ice, like a lot of money.
Yes, he'd be great. All right, boys, that's it for today. But we will see you guys again Thursday, if you will.
Oh boy, thanks for the warning.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Coming in Hot, presented by Botano. See you, everybody.
See you guys.
Coming in Hot is brought to you by Botano.ca. Please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to never miss an episode.